What is up, s.t.a.l.k.e.r? Hello dear plebs, welcome. My name is Eroctic and in today's video I'm gonna talk about the map in the Fear the Wolves. If you guys still do not know, Fear the Wolves closed beta is over and I'm gonna try to entertain you as much as possible about this game. And in this video we're gonna talk about map size, we're gonna talk about zone stages, we're gonna talk about points of interest, and I'm sure that you're gonna learn something new, so sit back, relax and enjoy. First things first, I'm gonna show you the map. This is the map in the Fear the Wolves. The red border you can see around the edges is representing that zone, or in other words, this is the edge of the map. But we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Let's go over the point of interest first. There are 7 orange locations on the map, and they are representing military location loot spawns. Which means if you decide to land on this orange location on the beginning of the map, expect some PvP action because everyone wants to see the glorious Kalashnikov in his arsenal right on the beginning of the match. Sorry, I had to take this off my chest. Anyways, like I said, you're gonna find top tier equipment in those types of locations, but that does not mean that those are the only places where the high-end gear spawns. Although those orange locations, those military locations, have much bigger loot table for level 3 equipment, assault rifles and the sniper rifle spawns. Next on the list we have towns. We have 21 towns on the map, and both of those locations, military locations and town locations, they all have their own unique concept how they are built. Every single town or a military location, they both have something memorable. For example, a church, huge ass satellite dish and stuff like that. Basically, you will never have a feeling that you're in the same place twice. Although in towns you can find much bigger variety of loot table than in the military places. Towns have much more loot spawns, but also it is much harder to find that top tier gear. Although, from my experience, every single town has its own top-tier loot spawn. For example, in a town that is unique because there is a church in that town, if you enter inside of a church, you're gonna find top-tier gear over there. Sadly, I didn't have time to visit every single location to save that for you guys, but you can expect that in the future. I only played 25 hours in closed beta, goddammit. 27 hours. I played 27 hours in 3 days. Sellout, by the way. But you see, those 28 bigger locations are not the only locations on the map. We also have 119 villages on a map that are scattered across the map. And a few things that you need to know about those villages is that those villages can vary between 2 houses with the 2 shacks or 4 houses with the 4 shacks, you never know. Well, the more you play, the more you're gonna know, of course. And the map knowledge in this game is gonna create a huge skill gap between a noob and a pro. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there is even more random points of interest that are barely visible on the map, but they are existed, and they can vary between broken terrain rails, sunk ships, destroyed silos and stuff like that. And you're gonna always find the gear on those locations. And if you're thinking that that's it, it is not. There is even more hidden points of interest on a map that are not even implemented on a map, and the reason why is because there is a lot of hidden military tents and military equipment scattered around the map. Like, do you see this? Like, this is not even on the map. You see this area right here? It is literally not on a map. So, map knowledge is a must in the Fear the Wolves. And if we expose all of those points of interest with a little bit brighter colors, you can clearly see the flow of the map. If you're thinking that the best tactic is to just land in the middle of the map, scavenge few of the villages and points of interest and wait for the circle to shrink in the bush, you can do that. But you see, Fear the Wolves is rewarding the players that are willing to risk their life by visiting edges of the Chernobyl in a hope that they're gonna find that top tier gear so they can literally kill every single person that dropped in a match with him. And those types of players are gonna experience much more troubles that are in front of him. They're gonna have to fight and other players and the enemy AIs and the environment and the zone, which is gonna bring us to our next topic. Circle. Oh, excuse me. There is no goddamn circle in a game, but there are grids. And you're gonna never experience same type of a match twice. Because there is no way that you can predict where the extraction is gonna happen. When you have a classic Battle Royale circle that every single clone of a Battle Royale has in a game, because how circle is shaped, you're gonna always stay around the radius to be on a safe location. And because of that exact reason, you can literally predict where the endgame circle might be. But if you're having a grid system like Fear the Wolves has, there is no way that you can predict where the extraction is gonna happen, because that grid is shrinking, and with the unpredicted pattern and with the uneven shape. And as you can see from this example that is on your screen right now, this is the mid game, and you can still loot and far south of the map and far north of the map. And if you're thinking that the best tactic is just push the middle of the map far away from the radiation, yeah, that is legit tactic. But you also need to realize that you need to loot more and travel less. And the reason why I'm saying that is because game is brutal on resources and you're gonna need a lot of stuff to win the match. I mean, there is a lot of tactics how you can win in this game, but we're gonna talk about that in future videos. No time to waste! Before you start with the typing how this is creating a big RNG elements in a game and how you're gonna probably die because of a terrible RNG, let me explain how radiation zones are working in Fear the Wolves. First indicator that this zone is gonna become a radioactive zone is stage 1. Anomaly zone. When the stage 1 happens, there is no radiation, which means you can still stay inside of this zone, but you have to be cautious. And the reason why you have to be cautious is because anomalies are gonna spawn on that area. And if you decide to stay inside of the stage 1 zone, the environment is gonna decide your path of traveling. You're gonna need to be more cautious when you're traveling, because those anomalies are real cheeky brickies. You're gonna literally need to pay extra attention to spot them. You're gonna see barely visible dome that is gonna indicate that there is the anomaly in the middle of that circle, and if you accidentally enter inside of that dome, congratulations, you just triggered the anomaly that is gonna probably eat your ass if you do not have enough of the radiation protection, of course. So if you decide to stay in that zone, stay away from the domes. I'm still not sure about the number of the anomaly spawns per grid, but I can definitely tell you that there is some kind of a mechanic that is responsible about the anomaly count. Because sometimes I didn't have problems with moving through the anomaly zone, and sometimes there were literally anomaly on top of the anomaly, and it was really hard to escape from that stage 1 without triggering any anomalies. And I don't even wanna talk about how those anomalies are changing the positioning if you engage in the gunfight with the another player. I'll just say, if you're gonna panic, you're gonna lose. And in a moment when you see that stage 1 zone happened, you have 2.5 minutes to GTFO out of a zone, because after 2.5 minutes, stage 1 is gonna become stage 2, radiation zone. When the stage 2 happens, the area is gonna become radioactive, and the first thing that you're gonna notice is gonna be the effect like there is a lot of red fireflies flying around you. The radiation is gonna start depleting your HP from the right to left, and you're gonna need to have a lot of vodka on you to remove that debuff. Or maybe oxygen tank. We're gonna talk about that in a future videos. But yeah, if you're well prepared, you can still survive, even stage 2. Although you're gonna waste a lot of resources. The duration of stage 2 is 2 minutes. It is 30 seconds less than a transition from stage 1 to stage 2. And if you end up in being in the radiation zone, it is time to move out. There is no time to waste. Because after 2 minutes, this area is gonna become dead zone. Radiation in a dead zone is so high that it is gonna deplete your HP much faster, and you should never ever stay in a stage 3. And the fastest way to figure out that you're in the dead zone is that your whole screen is gonna be covered with the green radioactive effect. The only thing that you actually need to know is when is the right time to move from one grid to the another. Don't worry, cheeky, I got your back. Length and width of the map is 5 kilometers, which means the map has 25 kilometers square. And if I highlight you the grids on the map, you're gonna have 100 grids, and each grid has a 500 meters. I was also calculating how long does it take to run from the beginning to the end of a grid, and for 500 meters you're gonna need 1 minute and 15 seconds, which means to run from far west to far east of the map, you're gonna need 12 minutes of straight running. I was also calculating how long does it take to drive a vehicle for 500 meters, and the results shown that it is gonna take 30 seconds to drive through one grid, which means to travel from far west to far east of the map, it is gonna take 5 minutes of driving. Please take in a notice that all of my tests are coming from the closed beta testing, which means some things may change, and also some features may be added in a game. But that is definitely pretty much everything that you need to know about Fear the Wolves map. If you wanna learn more about the game, click that subscribe button with the notifications on. Like if you learned something new, tell me your guys' thoughts. Is this game worth it? Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. s.t.a.l.k.e.r out.